This is Orbital Nonsense,
a podcast about space magic.
I'm Lily, a witch and an astrologer.
And I'm Veda. I'm just here to ask stupid questions.
Hi, again.
Hello, we've had technical difficulties.
Yeah. So we were saying hi, and then we were talking about how we had a really long break.
Right.
Do you want to recap?
Oh, yeah. Just to put it in perspective, like we had 2 months worth of content banked because we know that we're chronically ill. And so sometimes we have to have breaks, but we still ran out. So
Yeah. I got the flu, COVID, a cold, who knows, something. And that knocked me out I lost count at 4 weeks. So it was probably something like 7 weeks, 8 weeks. And then the holidays happened too. And then, and now we're here again. Woohoo.
That's good.
Cool. Do you have questions?
I do have questions.
Okay, so shoot.
Okay. So my first question is another one where we should look at like probably both of our charts and then give example of maybe another chart.
Okay.
But I thought that it would be good, seeing as you just came out of needing a whole bunch of rest for whatever illness and post-viral fatigue and like whatever you've had. And also, I have been going through this thing where every time I feel like I, hit like where I'm on a roll with like a writing routine, I get like slammed by fatigue and then I can't write at all, which I think is because I'm supposed to be learning the lesson that like I can't do like the whole productive creative output thing. Like I can't even think about it in that way because blah, 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 chronic illness and all of this. And so I wanted to talk about how you would look in a chart and see like the best ways for each person to rest. And in particular, I'm sure that hypnosis is like my favorite. And so I was like, I know that he has an asteroid. So I thought like in particular we could check hypnosis placements.
I'm gonna share my screen.
And also it's funny because whilst you were sick, I was like, oh, I'll take this time to do the energy healing teaching.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, now I have to do a video about like why we're still disabled. If I can do like it fixes a lot of stuff.
It fixed so much of my stuff, and that is still to this day fixed, and that has been, I don't even remember how long that's been.
I know. So I'm not very good at like remembering the chronological like order of things, but I'm guessing I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but like the thing that I was thinking about, so when I was making all of those videos, right? So I made the YouTube video that was like just recording me teaching two people, like two friends. And then I did a bunch of like broken down. I'm assuming you still saw it, even though you were sick. I made a bunch of about it.
I mean, I don't know if I saw all of them. I didn't go looking for them, but I saw a bunch. Yeah.
Well, because we also ran out of content for the TikTok, so I was like, here you guys go. We'll do this. And I wanted to do that anyways, because that's always hidden behind a paywall. And I think that's stupid because it's very easy.
Yeah.
Like I taught you to do it in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So like I taught Elisa this week, I taught her how to do it. And she's like, that was maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So anyway, but one of the things that I kept thinking about was when I healed all the stuff that had to do with your hips, like you were in the process of figuring out like when would be convenient to not move for a year because you were going to get that surgery and be in a full body cast for a year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Correct.
And just didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because those are the kind of things, like I kept thinking about it because I kept going like, well, that really happened, right? Like that's
it did happen. So basically what was going on with my hips is that, and apparently that is not even super uncommon, that your hip joints don't really connect right. Like the hip joints are basically there's a ball and then there's a little bowl, and the ball is supposed to fit in the bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for quite a few people, that bowl is just the edges aren't high enough. So it's more of a plate, and then the ball part of the I'm explaining this in a very professional manner,
but it makes sense.
Then the ball part of your joint can kind of like slip around, and it's not supposed to do that because that fucking hurts like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, like it really hurts. I was in a lot of pain, to the point where like I almost could walk. Like I was just in bed 24/7 and walking. Like I was walking with a cane, and that still really hurt, and it made it so my whole body hurt, right? Because when your hips are unstable, then all your muscles are trying to compensate for that. So my legs hurt, my back hurt, everything just fucking hurt all the fucking time.
Yeah, nightmare.
And yeah, and one of the solutions for it, if you have it in a decently severe way, I guess, is that they do surgery and they fix that joint, and that's what they wanted to do. And if you have surgery on your hips, that means that you're basically in a cast, in a full body cast for, I think it was 9 months, so not a full year, but like a decently long stretch of time where you're like you can't move because you've had surgery on your hips, and it really sucks. And I was getting ready to do that, and then you did some healing, and it was like a 10-minute thing, I think, where we did that healing. It wasn't longer than that, and I went from like, where's your pain on a scale of 1 to 10? I went from an 8, and that was a good day, to down to 0 in like 10 minutes. And it was the difference of, before you did that healing, I stood up and I couldn't stand up straight. And I had to go really slow to even get up. And then you did the healing, and I could just stand up, and I stood up straight, and it was fine. And I stood there, and my mind was blown because, and that's the part I like the most about this, you don't have to believe that it works.
Yeah, that's my favorite
to work
part too.
Because I didn't. I didn't. I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. I'll be your guinea pig. Happy to do that. Right? I mean,
weird shit.
I have a lot of issues. It can't hurt, really, for you to do that. So go ahead. And then it was gone, and it just blew my mind. And then my husband saw it. My husband saw it, and they were like, "You're walking. How are you walking? What the fuck happened?" And my husband also is a skeptic.
So. Yeah, Xander was really cute because they went from 100% like absolutely not to like texting me themselves and being like, "Oh, Lily has this problem. Can you?"
Yep. Yeah.
Like, oh, Xander's like 100% on board. I think Xander was 100% on board before we were.
Oh yeah, like I think we were still in the space of, did it really work though? And like I was still in that space where I was waiting for it to come back, because I was like, oh, it's probably like just my brain tricking myself, and like probably tomorrow when I get out of bed, it's gonna be the same as ever.
Right.
It never did though. It was never like, I still have pain. I still have issues. I am still disabled. That's,
Sure.
the videos
you still have hip pain?
No.
No. Okay. I don't think so. Was that the first thing that I healed for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So 100%, I didn't think that it was going to even help for a minute. And 100% you didn't either. Because I remember like the first thing you said, so it was also all over voice note, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of funny because, and that really speaks to how much I didn't think it was going to work. Because I didn't even sit up to do it, right? Like I was laying in bed going like, oh, I learned this thing. But it's like, but I thought it was bullshit. I was like, that's not real. So I didn't, like, I remember like, I didn't even sit up. Yeah. I was like laying down going like, okay, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, right. So we were like having, like sending voice notes back and forth to each other. And I was like, it's really probably not going to work, but I'm going to try. And you were just like, yeah, whatever. Like we practice weird shit on each other all the time. Yeah. Right.
That sounds weird if you take it out of context.
I mean, like, I think that both of us just approach things with curiosity.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like, even if I 100% think something's not going to work, I'm still willing to like try it or whatever. Yeah. You know, how
can you know it actually doesn't work if you don't try? That's usually my approach.
I mean, it's how I became a medium because I was like, not ever going to know if this is 100% bullshit unless I try to learn to do it and either can or can't. And I wasn't even like, I really hope it does. Or I really hope it doesn't. I was just like, well, I got a bunch of dead people and, you know, like, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. And then you were like, you're a wizard.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. See, I don't even have words, and that is a rare thing for me.
Yeah.
I don't like, it blew my mind. It was just so weird because also I've been in that kind of pain for years by that point, right? And had gone to doctors, and doctors had no answer until they finally actually did x-rays and, you know, found the issue. But like, it took years for them to do that. And I was so frustrated, and I had fully made my peace at that point with the fact that I was going to be in this kind of pain forever until the day I die. Yeah. And then it was just gone within 10 minutes. And it was just...
It was wild.
I'm still speechless.
Well, here's something that I don't remember the answer to. I feel like we talked about this at the time, and I don't really remember what the deal is. Mm-hmm. But what did your doctor say?
Nothing really. Okay. They were I did have... I think I had a checkup shortly after that. Mm-hmm. Don't quote me on that though. I'm bad with timelines and stuff. Yeah. To be fair, also my doctors before you did that weren't really enthusiastic about helping me. So it wasn't like, okay, so we're going to do the surgery and we have a schedule planned and like we're going to, it was basically,
it was like pulling teeth, getting them to...
It was more the kind of, well, you're not leaving, so I guess we're going to tell you that the only thing we can do for you is to cut you open and do this really extensive surgery. And then sort of hoping that I was going to go away. And I did go away because the pain went away. So,
some things...
Yeah, that's what happened.
Well, I healed like 20 things for you or something crazy like that. That's probably an exaggeration, but they're like a big long list. You had a big long list of things. I don't
think it's an exaggeration. I had a pretty long list of things.
I know that some of them, like, you got checked doctor-wise, like, and confirmed that they were gone, but I don't remember what it was. That's why I was asking if it was the hip thing.
It was mostly the heart thing.
That makes sense.
So I have long COVID, among probably other things. And ever since my first round of COVID, I've had dizzy spells and a heart rate that spikes in a ridiculous
you
manner.
were wearing a heart rate monitor at the time.
Yes.
Right.
And it was, so to anyone who knows stuff about heart rates, a normal resting heart rate is anywhere between like 60 and 80 beats per minute. My resting heart rate is around 100. And then and that is lying down. So as soon as I get up, my heart rate spikes to 120. When I actually do stuff and not just get up, it goes to 150 and beyond. And at the time you did that, I was wearing a heart monitor to like figure out what was going on, and it was visible there that my heart rate went visibly down, and it stayed like that until I got my next round of whatever. And it's back to spiking again now, but I'm again working with a doctor on that.
Sure.
So that is something that did come back, but I also believe that it came back for a reason, because that is the thing that doctors will actually listen to when you tell them that your heart is doing weird stuff.
Oh, so you think that it came back because you need it so that they'll listen to your other stuff?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's so.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, like, if you want me to work on that again, then I can work on that again.
I mean, you have a couple of times in between those, and it always does work. It always brings it down, but it always comes back. And after like the third time or something that it came back,
right,
I was like, okay, so if this keeps coming back, there's got to be a reason for it. And I do believe that is part of the reason, because all of the checkups I'm getting now that I finally found a doctor who will actually do checkups on me are to do with my heart.
Oh, right. So it's kind of funny because I realized that I'm going like, did I work with you on that? I don't remember. But it's because I've done so many things.
Yeah.
You
also worked on my lungs. So I have asthma and trouble breathing, which just got worse after having had COVID. That is basically gone. So all those issues are gone. You've worked on my allergies.
I remember that one. I remember that one because I remember you had messaged me and were like, right, I'm having this problem. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I can't remember like what it was, but I basically in my head, I worked on like half of it and I forgot half of it. And you were like, oh, that. So it was like something like how I was working on how it felt in like your head and throat, I think, but not in your chest.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so you were like, well, my head and throat feel better, but my chest still hurts. And I was like, oh, I forgot to work on that part. Hold on. And then I think it did like fuck off. I do remember that one. Yeah.
So I have really bad allergies, like pollen allergies, but also dust makes my lungs really bad. And I'm still on meds. Like I still take antihistamines every single day. But before you did that healing, I used to have what I used to call bad allergy days, where the antihistamines just didn't do anything and I was sick. I was properly sick for like a day just from allergies. And that has never happened since.
Right.
So I'm taking the same antihistamines I've always taken. Nothing has changed.
But you still need the antihistamines.
I do still need the antihistamine. Okay. But that's fine. I take a pill every day and then I just feel normal. So, which I also did not before. So I would take antihistamines and my allergies just weren't as bad as they were without the antihistamines. Now I take antihistamines and I don't have allergies.
Yeah.
Which is technically what they're supposed to do, but they never did that, but now they do. So that's great. That works fine. You also, and we're going to get back to astrology in a second, I promise. But this one's really cool, so I want to mention it. You also cured my son from his phobia of spiders.
Yeah, that's not come back. That's wild.
So he had a proper phobia, and we've talked about that before, the difference between, a phobia and just disliking something. He had a proper phobia. He saw a spider across the room and he would scream bloody murder.
Yeah.
And then you did whatever you do. and I mean, he still doesn't like spiders. He still doesn't want them as pets, but he can easily, comfortably be in the same room with the spider and just go like, oh, look, there's a spider up there. Okay.
Which is funny because I cannot. I also have a proper arachnophobia, but I think so that's actually one of the funny things about that is like I heel toes, but I can't do the same level of work on myself. Yeah. Right? It doesn't work as well. Mm-hmm. The other funny thing that I think about like that is whenever I've worked on your kids, I've had you ask them for their permission first, right?
Yeah.
So you always like get their consent. But the thing about that one is when you asked him if it was okay if I did that, his response was like, well, sure, but they can't do anything about it. Mm-hmm. And so, and then it worked so well that he forgot.
Yeah.
That he had the phobia.
He still forgets. I still have to remind him. We've had a conversation about this literally just a few days ago. That's why I know. Because I don't remember what the conversation was, but somewhere in there I was like, do you remember that time when you were when you were in the shower and you were screaming bloody murder and the entire family came running because we thought that you had an accident and you were dying in there, and everyone came running, and it was like a little spider that was like all the way up in the corner, and you were screaming, and he was like, I don't remember that. Really? I did that? I was like, you definitely did that.
Yeah. I mean, I understand because same.
Yeah. I mean,
that's how I react to that kind of stimulus. So
it was just funny because it's so different, because now he's sitting at the dinner table and there's sitting one right above his head, which I wouldn't like. I would ask my husband to please remove that.
Yeah.
But he's just going to sit there and shrug and go, yeah, it's a spider. Like, I don't want to have it crawling on me, but also it's just sitting there. It's not hurting anyone. So like, and like, yeah, that is pretty wild.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that's what we've been talking about on the TikTok and on this channel. Well, you weren't feeling well.
Yeah. And I like that you recorded that and that we put it up on the YouTube, and it's just free and everyone can watch it and learn it, because in the world we're living in, I think that is really valuable and everyone should know how to help each other.
It is a capitalist hellscape, and I am like so forever. Like, okay, I understand that people need to make a living and like whatever. So it's literally no shade to any of the practitioners that like do charge for that. But at the same time,
not at all.
I'm like, I'm so sick of everything being behind a paywall, and it's stupid.
Yeah. And especially with this thing, because it's like so easy to teach someone and it's so quick, and you can literally the YouTube video is like less than an hour long.
I know. I was thinking about it because so it's like 55 minutes or something like that. So it's like just under an hour. Yeah. However, the first like few minutes of it are me like explaining why we're not talking about astrology and how you're sick and like blah, blah, blah. And then there's a lot of it where it's the women practicing. Yeah. Right? Where like I explain it and then they're like practicing. Yeah. So, I mean, anyway. Yeah. And like, okay, I have not lived in America for a really long time, but I obviously like still pay attention to like what is going on over there. And like, there's a lot of fucking people that can't afford to go to the goddamn doctor. And you should always, this is not a replacement for like doctors or like proper medical care or whatever. But also, like, if you can fucking help each other, help each other.
If you can do this on top of seeking actual medical professionals.
But sure.
Then why not? And especially because, this also works for random stuff like phobias. And, you're not going to go to a doctor for a phobia. Possibly.
Right. I mean, also don't not go to a therapist or therapy because you've done this.
Yes. Yes. But, more help is better than less.
Yeah. I mean, I just, this is one of those things where I'm like, I really feel like if you're the kind of person that has it in you to try something a little bit silly and like just try it out and like practice a bunch, like I think that everybody can do it. And also B, I think that everybody who's like willing to like maybe look a little silly for like, just do it with your best friend. Like it's whatever. But like, if all of those people would be willing to try it out, then I think a huge number of people would be out there doing it because it's just, it doesn't require belief, but you still have to be willing to try to do it.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. So, and then if you can help each other, like the world's on fire.
Yeah.
Help each other.
We need community and compassion and all that good stuff. Always more of that. So
yeah. Yep. So
yeah. Okay. Do you want to go back to astrology?
Yes. So
she said after she had that chart open for, I don't know, 30 minutes.
Ages. But so just to recap, I asked about hypnos and proper rest, and we'll look at like a couple different charts because I think it'll show us different things.
So first thing I would look at is the natal chart and specifically the 6th house and the 12th house. Okay. So the 6th house is the house of the physical body and also of routine things, everything we do on a routinely basis, be it work related or like house chores related or even pet stuff, everything like that is all in the 6th house. And then the 12th house is mental health things, but also spaces we are in some kind of I said that in a weird way. Any kind of spaces that we tend to be alone in. So confinement, prison is in here, mental health institutions, hospitals, anything like that. Those are in the 12th house. And so this axis, the physical body, mental health, routines, but also resting, that's the 6th house, 12th house axis.
Sure.
So for your chart, first of all, your 6th house is mostly in Pisces. Okay. There's already a connection to the 12th house and also to the spiritual realm somewhat in there. First of all, to the 12th because Pisces rules the 12th house. So that gets pulled in there, which is really nice. So for you, this axis is even more of an axis than, for others who do not have that connection.
Yeah.
And also, that bond is probably even stronger in your case, the bond between the mental health and the physical health. So when you don't feel well physically, you will not feel well mentally and vice versa.
Okay.
So you need to pay special attention to taking care of both is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know if I feel like that's true though.
You don't. Why not?
So, okay. So because I'm a disabled person, I spend a lot of time not feeling well, right? But I don't feel like that fucks with my mental health. I just don't. Like, I feel like, so, I mean, this is kind of like a toxic conversation that I've had with somebody, but there is somebody in my life that's physical that like, is a very physical person.
Okay.
Right? And like physical movement on their body is very important to them. And this is where the toxic part comes in. So a little bit of a trigger warning for this, but they're always like, if I was disabled the way that you are, I would just opt out. Like I would just kill myself. Right. So like I said, so that's like a toxic way of thinking about it or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like I do believe them. I do think that that's probably true. They are an able-bodied person, so like who knows, you know, whatever. But they feel really strongly about they're like super able-bodied. They're like super thin able-bodied. You definitely know who I'm talking about. But
I do.
So, but one of the reasons that they say that is they're like, this is also kind of toxic, but they're like, it's kind of like a good thing that it's you because it doesn't bother you, which is not to say that it doesn't bother me at all. Like, obviously, like, wish that I wasn't disabled or whatever, but like, it doesn't make me sad. Like, I don't have like big feelings about it. Like, it doesn't. Well, I know that sad is not the only way to like affect your mental health, but it doesn't affect my mood.
Okay. So 2 questions, and I actually don't know that about you. So
okay.
Yay for getting to know you better. So, first question I would ask is, was that always the case or did you have to learn it? And second question is, when you feel bad physically, like when you have a bad health day, do you then take care of mental needs automatically?
Yeah. So, okay. So
that's it.
Family history. Well, I just mean they don't come up. Okay. So what I mean by do I take care of it? I mean that they're not there to be taken care of.
Okay.
Right? So like, I mean, I don't do anything to make them bad, but it's not like a danger zone. Like it doesn't. Okay. And I know why. I know why it's not. Right.
Okay.
Like, I know why I don't. Okay. So I have multiple sclerosis. That's my big, like, you know, chronic illness. And it runs in my family on like one side of my family. So I have a cousin that has it. And we had a grandfather that had it. So the grandfather that we share had it. And he had it really bad. Right. So because he got sick in a time where like there's still not like a cure or anything, but there's like treatments and stuff now. And whatnot. But he had it at a time where nobody knew anything. And he lived the last like 35 years in a VA hospital that was full of people whose minds were gone. And he was 100% there mentally. But his like physical body meant that he had to be in round the clock care. Like he was in like a motorized wheelchair and he couldn't open his hands. And like, just, he was very, 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 very disabled.
Yeah.
But it also didn't affect his mental health. And he was one of the kindest, happiest people I've ever met. I've never heard him complain. The only person that in his life that ever heard him complain was his wife, you know, like, and she only heard him complain like 3 times total. Like, and so ever since I was initially diagnosed, like my way of thinking about it has always been like, right, but if you're going to have MS, you want it the way that I have it, right? Because like it didn't cause me, like it caused me problems, like it caused me like mobility problems and stuff, but it didn't cause me any pain for years and years and years. Like I've had this diagnosis since 2009. And it kind of positively affected my mental health, really, like, because, so I just really disagree with that. I just really like, because I've all like anytime. So my aunt, for example, like my mother that I'm no contact with, but I was still in contact with when I got the diagnosis. But more so my aunt, because I stayed in contact with her longer.
Okay.
she's always like, I hate that you have this. Like, I'm really sorry. And like, blah, blah, blah. Cause it's like her father. And she's like, got her own trauma about her father.
Sure.
And whatever. And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm great. Like, it's whatever. Like,
yeah.
Shit happens and I'm not unhappy about it. Right.
Yeah.
And she's always like, you and Jeff say the same thing and it drives me crazy. Right? And she's like, I'm happy that you guys feel that way, but I couldn't feel that way.
Yeah.
So this is maybe the first time that you've ever told me an astrology thing when I'm just like, I vehemently disagree with that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the first time. So, okay, but you said a tiny bit there. You said that it affected your mental health in a positive way. Could that be the link? What do you mean by that?
Mean, maybe, but that was so maybe, but it'd be a little bit of a stretch, right?
Okay.
Because so I got my diagnosis during my Saturn return. So there was a lot of moving parts there. There was a lot of other things going on. So, you know, like I was going through like a lot of like weird relationship things, and I had a job that was really stressful, and like blah, blah, blah. And one of the things that like, so basically like I was not capable of working my stressful job anymore. So there was that, but there was so many moving parts with other things. Like, even as I said that, I'm just like, that's kind of not fair to be like, it's because of this that my life like got better or whatever. Cause that's not right. Like there's just, so yeah, I don't know. Like I'm happy to like see if there's something else that could mean, but so far I don't agree.
that is fine. Because I'm just one person, and
sure,
I've been doing astrology for quite a few years, but also I'm still learning. We're all still learning.
Yeah,
I can get things wrong. And
sure.
you know, and also like your birth chart is never gonna predict 100% of the things 100% correctly, because it always just shows a kind of energy and a kind of potential.
The opportunity.
Exactly. So what I feel like though, and this could be that access for you, that connection. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but sure. What I feel like is just watching you, being your friend, that whenever you have like a bad health day in whatever kind of way, like a fatigue day or whatever, or a pain day, that you do tend to and I think that's something you probably learned in the last couple of years. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but like you learned that you're pretty good at taking care of yourself in a very like wholesome way. So when you have a fatigue day, you've become really good at just lying down and closing your eyes and resting. But that always, I feel like, entails that you will also do something that will still bring you joy. Like you will put on an audiobook that you really enjoy. Or, you know, if you can watch something, you will watch something that brings you joy or anything like that. And I feel like that is still like that there's still some of that connection in there. Like you're not, am I making sense? Do you know what I mean?
Sort of. So this might be an autism thing, right? Because, so I feel very much the same way about this as we've had this conversation earlier, but I can't remember if it was on camera or not. Like not earlier today, but like, or like in an earlier episode or whatever. Where I hate it when people are like, so I have just trauma throughout like my whole life. And so I really hate it when people are like, you're really strong. And I'm like, right, as opposed to being dead. Like, what's the choice? Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, I'm laughing, but that's just...
Well, that's why it irritates me, right? Because I'm just like, yeah, sure, nothing like no choice or whatever. And so it's just kind of like, right, if I'm too tired to do anything, like, what is the option other than to like...
Okay, but see...
or listen to an audiobook, like...
But see, that's what I mean. And like... I know this because I know that I had to learn to do that, and it was really hard for me because I am nowhere near dealing as well, and you're going to hate me saying that, I know, but say it anyway. I'm nowhere near as well adjusted with my being disabled than you are. And
figure.
Sorry?
How do you figure? What do you mean?
Well, because I have to choose. I have to actively choose when I have a bad day that I will rest. I will have to actively choose that I will do something that brings me joy.
Okay.
Instead of either forcing myself to do stuff that hurts me.
Okay.
Or wallowing in the fact that I can't do the things that I would prefer to be doing. Or drowning in guilt because I will feel guilty for not doing the things that I'm supposed to. So,
okay.
So I've gotten way, 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 way better at it, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So I'm not doing these things anymore, but I had to learn to do them. Okay. So I know that, yeah, you can have a bad fatigue day and be the way you are and accept that, okay, this is a bad fatigue day. I will lie down, I will rest, I will put on an audiobook that will still bring me joy, that will keep me entertained. Or you could not make that choice and you could hurt yourself, or you could,
sure,
just feel really bad about yourself and beat yourself up about it. But you never do that.
Right. So I either learned that in the before times from before my memory started, before I was 10.
Yeah.
Or that's an autism thing, because that's not something that I've learned since having this.
Yeah.
Right. And like, and also probably like, I had this long time without being diagnosed. Like,
fair.
When we went back, looking back, I mean, again, I'm no contact with my mom, so I don't really know the answer to this, because when I asked my dad, he was like, he only kind of remembered like little things. But when I was in high school, I was diagnosed with ME, which ended up being a misdiagnosis for MS, right? Yeah. And then there was something fishy when I was in the 8th grade. So it's either like the specific way that I have autism, or I learned it in the before times, because because I genuinely I'm not like disagreeing that there is a choice, because obviously, like, as you explain that, I'm like, yeah, I guess you could do that, but that's like obviously, like, no offense.
Should
but
you
like,
do it? No.
But it's like a terrible idea. So like logically it doesn't. So that's why I'm like, I think maybe it's an autism thing, because I'm just like, that doesn't compute to me.
But maybe
never has.
But maybe that is that connection. That's not even. It's not even a conscious choice you're making. That's just how your brain works. Maybe.
Yeah, I just mean that,
or
not connected to my.
Yeah.
Then it's not connected to my chronic illness.
Yeah.
Unless you're saying that the autism is what's showing up in that.
Yeah.
That I could.
That is obviously. I'm not saying that is a mental illness, but it's mental in that it is to do with your brain, right?
Sure.
And it can affect your physical body in various ways.
Yeah.
So maybe that is the connection, that because I, at least to a degree, would put autism in the 12th house.
Okay.
So in that axis of the 12th and the 6th house, because it's in your brain, it affects how you
Do you know what else is funny about this?
What?
So, this just comes from years of like trying to mask and doing a terrible job and like getting in arguments with neurotypical people. But if a neurotypical person is watching this podcast, why are you here? What are you doing? Like, you can stay if you want, but I don't understand why you would want to be here. And then like that, and I don't even mean like no shade, but I just
not at all. Just
like we're obviously like we don't know how to talk to you is all. No. But also if there was one here, this is why people are like, oh, autistic people are so argumentative. Because I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And you're like, well, maybe this information. And I'm like,
you're right.
And you're like, maybe this information. And I'm like, nope. And then you're like, and then we went through all of that and you're like, maybe this information. And I'm like, maybe that information. But I'm not trying to argue with you.
I know, because I didn't even clock that as any kind of argument. Like, we're not having an argument, we're having a conversation.
No, I'm just really, really used to neurotypical people like telling me that I'm argumentative. And I'm like,
yeah. So
I'm not arguing with you. I'm asking for information. I know that you don't like, but
yeah. So in case anyone is listening and is worried, we're not like, I'm not mad at you. You're not mad at me. We're not having, like, we're not fighting. We're just going back and forth, like throwing ideas around, and then
I always just want more information. That's like anytime I ask a question, even if I'm super monotone, even if my face is saying nothing, I literally just require more data. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no feelings about the data. I just want more of the data, please. That's it. So anyway, might be
okay.
That. Okay.
So let's shelve that for now.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So going back to how do you rest and how do I look that up in a chart? Yep. The original question. Okay. So that is the axis I look at. So what I would recommend to you looking at this situation. So again, your 6th house is in large part in Pisces. You also have Mercury in there, and you have Pallas in there. So it's all very intellectual too. So resting to you probably still needs some kind of intellectual stimulation. So, an audiobook is great intellectual stimulation, right? Or journaling, or just, anything to do with language, because Mercury governs language and writing and any kind of communication. Also talking about, the thing, like talking things through and venting to other people is a way that you just release stress and let go.
Yeah.
Anything like that. And then with Saturn in your 12th house natally, that also hints at the, at the physical issues with, being disabled. It's going to put boundaries on your health, and it's going to put you in hospitals. I know it has put you in hospitals before.
Sure.
And so, if you hadn't, and if you were someone I didn't know with Saturn in the 12th, I would probably predict sort of that might be some kind of issue that would come up for you in the future, like possible hospital stays or anything to do with confinement and with being alone specifically. But also, if we flip that around, because I always like to look on the dark side and the bright side of everything, because we have both everywhere. That also means that being alone in itself is restful for you. So you will have these moments where you don't want people around and you don't want to have to talk to anyone. You just want to be on your own, because peopling is exhausting and tiring, and you just want to be able to unmask and just be on your own. And like alone time isn't necessarily hard for you. Like, you don't really have issues with being alone.
Yeah.
Okay, and then obviously we're gonna put transits on top of that, which means I have to move this thingy. Boop. Please, thank you. Okay.
Putting in transits or putting in hypnos?
I'm gonna look at transits first. Because, and I keep going back to that because, and that's why it's gonna be short. You do also still have Saturn going through your 6th house, which is your Saturn half return, which is way less popular than the Saturn return, but can be.
It's really fucking irritating. It's
equally irritating, if not more so, than the Saturn return, because the Saturns are in opposition. So the Saturn half return just means that transiting Saturn is opposite your natal Saturn. And it is in this 6th house, 12th house axis. So it's all to do with your health and the whole of your being.
Yeah,
your
it's
physical
doing some
being.
Other Saturn-y things that I don't necessarily want to talk about on here as well, but it's been actively fucking irritating me.
Yeah.
For a long time.
So that's, if we look at any kind of time frames to do with health and specifically with rest, then pulling in transits in is always helpful, because obviously when you're going through a Saturn half return or a Saturn return, anything to do with that, like big major transits through your 6th house, then you should take especially good care of your physical body and listen to its needs. And if there's major transits through your 12th house, then you need to take extra good care of your mental health and, do mental kind of resting and like maybe go to therapy, anything like that. So, yeah. So this definitely, looking at your transits, is still a time for you where you need extra rest because of that Saturn half return. And yeah, now let's pull in Hypno.
Oh, he's retrograde.
Oh yeah, he's also retrograde. That's interesting. Yeah, I think all of I keep forgetting. All of
my outer
planets aren't right. Let me remove the transits for now. Okay. So that's Hypnos up there in your 10th house. And interestingly, he has aspects to both your 6th and your 12th. So
okay.
And specifically, I can speak. He has a trine to Pallas in your 6th. So Pallas Athena, exactly. So she represents war and also the intellect. So she's kind of, she has a similar-ish vibe to Mercury, but she's fiercer, basically.
Right. Okay.
So, because she has that war aspect.
Sure.
She's all about like strategizing and getting information that will help you, that you can maybe even use against an enemy or anything like that, right?
Okay.
That is Pallas Athena. And she was the one where a few minutes ago at some point said that so even while resting, you will probably still need some kind of intellectual stimulation. Like, not as in you should study to rest. That would be silly. But like, your brain wants like some kind of tickling.
I listen to Podfix. Like, so even if so sometimes I have often, okay, not sometimes, often, I have a level of fatigue where I can't even have input through my eyes. So I have to have like an eye mask on. So I like laying under blankets with an eye mask on in a heated room. And I'm listening to Podfix. So it's like, but it's specifically, but the reason that it's like, that I'm saying like specifically it's Podfix is because fan fiction, there's so many like decisions that you don't have to make
Yeah.
If it's fan fiction, like you already know the characters that you like, you already know the characters that you don't like. So like you already know how you feel about like different relationships. You already know how you feel about the world. And you already know, like, you already have like whatever opinions that you have about like, I don't know, like what, depending on the fandom, like what the political affiliation of blah, 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 like whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, even though like the stories might change wildly, it's still only like a quarter of the data that you're actually processing.
Yeah.
So,
and that's exactly what I mean by you need like a little bit of tickling in your brain to actually be restful, because probably if you didn't do that, you'd be more stressed because
and I prefer it to be like dark and twisty.
Yeah.
Like the stories I want to be like deep, emotionally complicated. Like I don't want it to be like fluffy. I just want it to be,
that's Palace's part,
characters that I already know.
Yeah, she's all about dark and twisty and blood and warfare and
perfect.
And that is actually quite restful because she is in a trine with fucking Hypnos, and Hypnos is like, I don't get that, but you do you, babe. I'm gonna give you the rest, you know. And also, so two more funny things. Hypnos is in a sextile with you with your Venus Vesta conjunction, so gay. And
like listen to gay stories, pretty stuff, lots of blood.
and also to be a little more serious about it, although that's hard for me because that conjunction in your chart is just, it makes me laugh every single time because it is always just so ultimately gay.
It's also ever present. Like I feel like it comes up over
in everything. Yeah, I can't even count how many times I've mentioned that one conjunction in this podcast. That is a funny one. Another funny one, hang on, is the trine with Uranus in your second.
Okay.
So Uranus, again, is the rebel, the I'm not going to do anything in the way everyone else is doing them.
Okay.
So you basically, you should not take advice from other people about what you should do to rest.
Okay.
Because they don't know. Just so it's always going to be very you and very unique. That was very poetic of me to say in that way. So yeah, you're not gonna. But I mean, already the stuff you've mentioned, so lying in bed under lots of blankets with an eye mask and listening to dark pot fiction is like is very unique and is probably not what many people would consider rest, but it works for you.
Yeah.
And that's great. And that's exactly what Uranus is doing. Also, both of them are retrograde, so Uranus and Hypnos are retrograde, so that's internal stuff. So everything that's usually external and a lot of other people gets internalized for you, so you don't really pull rest from the outside world. It is intrinsic. So I don't know, something like getting a massage, probably not necessarily super restful for you. Maybe in the aftermath, but not in the actual while getting a massage. Again, this is just...
I may not quite like a massage, but okay.
Okay.
Sure.
But fair. I didn't say you wouldn't like it, but like, is it actual rest?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
I'm not trying to disagree with you today.
No, I know. It's fine. Okay, so the point that I'm trying to make is it is more important in what kind of space you are and what kind of headspace you are than it is like what is happening around you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. What are these squares?
Let's see. Who are you? Oh, Lancelot for some reason is still in there, and Lilith. So the asteroid Lilith.
So, out of curiosity, what the fuck would that mean?
So, the asteroid Lilith is, in short, childhood trauma.
Oh, it's not very restful. Sure.
Yeah, and it's in a square. So, if anything would hinder your rest and your sense of safety and comfort,
sure,
it's childhood trauma. And also, interestingly enough, and I don't know if that is true, with Lancelot, like the sense of chivalry. So if anything could disturb your rest, it would be a gay girlfriend that you desperately want to be there for and please, and she's there and she really needs you, so you will stop your rest and you will tell your body to fuck off. I can't right now because my girlfriend needs me.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that being a problem. So, okay, that's cool.
So yeah, and then we have that sextile with Black Moon Lilith in your 12th house. So at least to a certain degree, the dark themes get pulled in here again. So the the murder and blood and revenge and warfare and stuff like that.
Just early things.
Specifically like revenge, because like Black Moon Lilith is about getting your power back, and like
I like stories of redemption.
Yeah.
But I want them to be like really, really dark first.
Yeah. But also like a little bit of like sexy stuff is in there. Yeah, only to a certain degree, and also a specific kind of sexy stuff probably can be restful.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, so that's Hypnos.
Okay, I want to look at yours because I feel like mine was super weird, and so that's not going to necessarily help other people.
There he is. Okay. So first of all, it's interesting that my 6th house and my 12th house are fucking tiny.
Oh yeah.
Are like the two smallest houses in my entire chart. And my 12th house is empty.
And you have your emotional moon right next to your Chiron, so it makes sense that you are pissed off about your physical stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I do get really emotional about all of my being disabledness.
Mm-hmm.
That was grammatically totally correct.
But that makes sense.
Yeah.
Of that.
Yeah. So so I do have to make an effort to, whenever I have like a physically hard day, to also take care of my mental health, and vice versa. And it is an active choice that I have to make. Like, it doesn't come naturally to me at all, because for some reason I cannot make the connection that the two are like, they are connected, they work together. If one isn't doing well, the other's also, like, that connection for some reason doesn't exist, which I guess could also be my kind of autism.
Sure.
Like the disconnect to my own body. I also like am sometimes not aware of the feelings I actually have until someone points them out to me.
Sure.
So, although I do feel emotions in my body, like I have physical reactions to my emotions before I feel my actual emotions, with my moon in my 6th house and also my Chiron in there. So my trauma, and I have a shit ton, affects my physical health. Sure. So I get sick when something, like when I get triggered for something, and it doesn't happen often anymore because I've fixed most of my triggers, but sometimes there's like, surprise, here's another trigger you didn't know about. And I tend to get sicker when that happens. So so that would be the advice I would give myself. Make sure that you take care of that. And then looking at Hypnos. So first of all, he's in my 5th house, and the 5th house is the house of fun and games, the things we create. So art, just things we make. We create books, we write, and also the children we create, the children we make are in the fifth house.
Okay.
So all of these things can be restful for me. So being creative, being and that is true. Like I like to, like, I crochet, for example. The crochet is like the main sort of artsy thing I do. And that is extremely restful. Like my brain just shuts off and I can just work with my hands.
Yeah.
So that fully tracks. Also I have to have something on when I actually go to sleep. So I have to have a story. Like usually it's an audiobook, sometimes it's like a podcast or something that is running that keeps my brain sparkly.
Okay.
Similar to yours, the difference being that, like,
I don't want it on when I go to sleep.
Exactly, and I have to have it on to fall asleep too.
Yeah.
And also different from you, it has to be new. So it has to be like a comfortable, artsy story kind of thing that is like that is new enough that I that my brain will not drift off and start thinking thoughts.
Sure.
Because my brain does that a lot and it keeps me from sleeping.
Yeah.
So that tracks. And it also fully tracks that hypnosis is opposite my palace. And it's a funny thing to compare. So it was a trine with yours, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
So you have to keep your brain kind of occupied in a comfortable way, even when you rest. If my brain gets left to its own devices, I am incapable of resting because my brain is thinking thoughts all the fucking time and coming up with things and thinking about conversations I've had 10 years ago. Coming up with ways how that conversation could have gone better. It's stupid shit like that. And then if it's done with that, then it will start making up stories that I at some point want to write down because, hey, it's 3 a.m. Why not start writing a book right here now? That's a great idea.
Sure.
So, so I need something that shuts off my brain so I can rest. And that is really, really hard for me to do. Because it's in an opposition. Palace is in an opposition with my hypnos. And it's all hypnos is also in a sextile with my sun in my second house. My very
Is that why you sleep late?
My very Pisces sun. It might be. I am definitely nocturnal, and it's really hard for me to not be. Although I'm constantly trying. But yeah, I do like to stay up late, and I like being awake in the middle of the night. I also work with Nyx. Is anyone surprised?
Sure.
So,
I work with hypnos.
Yeah. I mean, I try to, like, he's definitely around, and I've asked him for help, and whenever I ask him again, he will come in and my sleep will get better. But also my son and my palace are really loud.
Yeah.
and they're like, but it's night and it's pretty, and why should you sleep? It's so pretty.
It is funny though, because my whole life I had insomnia, and it's only been in the last few years that like I really don't. Like my sleep is solid. I go to sleep early. I don't wake up that early. Like all of the things. And then
That's interesting.
So
yeah, I guess just judging by my natal chart, I will never really not be nocturnal.
Sure.
But that doesn't surprise me because I was a nocturnal child too.
So was I. I was
Really?
apparently that way as an infant. I had insomnia problems
Yeah.
as an infant.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I do know that as early as I can remember, I liked being up late, and I thought that nighttime was way more cozy and pretty than daytime, and wondering why everyone would go to sleep when the world gets prettier. That's weird.
Same. Yeah, yeah.
And cozier and like safer. Like night was always safe for me. So
Yeah. It's
yeah.
funny because, I mean, I'm a sunshine person and I like
Mm-hmm.
being hot and I like being in hot places and I like the
Mm-hmm.
sun and all of that stuff. But I only started sleeping at night like 6 years ago.
Interesting.
Trauma.
Hmm.
Trauma.
Yeah. 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 Fair.
So I just think it's
Yeah.
funny because it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully that also like gave some other people some ideas on what to look for in
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. Look at 6th house, look at your 12th house, look at that axis specifically, what's going on in those houses. Also what's going on in those houses. Transit wise, if you have a big transit there, take extra good care of yourself. And yeah, and make sure to keep that balance. I think that is true for everyone. Uh, not at all related to what is actually going on in your birth chart. Like that is true for everyone. If you take care of your mental health, you also need to take care of your physical health at the same time, because they're both intertwined.
Sure.
That is an axis for a reason. They are opposite for a reason. So
Sure.
okay,
Okay.
do you have another question? Although we are already at an hour and 21 minutes, just so you know.
Yeah. So I mean, technically I have two, but one I will definitely like wait and do another
Okay.
time.
Okay.
But one of them is short and
Okay.
and it doesn't require a chart at all.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
So it's just a conversation about, um, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about the ethics of looking at the charts of people that have been your abusers or
Mm-hmm.
toxic people in your lives, because obviously there is some like ethics and privacy things that we're always
Mm-hmm.
like, if we're going to look at somebody else's chart, like, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But also, I happen to have the natal chart, the birth information for a lot of people that caused me a lot of harm. And I look at that shit all the time. So I just thought that which is not to say that's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It is the thing that I absolutely do and I own, and I'm not sorry. So I just thought we should talk about it. That'd be an
Sure.
interesting thing to talk about.
Sure. So, uh, first, I do think that there's no harm in, and that's how I make my ethical decisions, right? Is there any harm for anyone in the thing that I do? If there's
Sure.
not any harm, then I tend to be okay with that thing being done because there's no harm.
Okay.
So I also look at charts that I have of people that have hurt me, that have traumatized me, that have been abusive towards me. And so, okay, so the difference is, if I'm looking at that privately, I'm not sharing it with anyone. I'm looking at it just for
Yeah.
me so that I can see what I can learn from it.
Yeah.
Because it can help you understand why that person did what they did. And I don't mean that in a way to like find excuses for them, but it is nice to have an explanation for why they behave the way they behave. And that can help you in your healing to just figure out, okay, I know why this person behaved that way. It is not on me. It is on
Yeah.
them. Um, and I don't see any kind of harm in that. So if you do have the birth info for someone that has hurt you, that's abused you, and you know stuff about astrology and you want to look that up on your own in your own private time.
Post it on the internet.
Exactly. Go ahead, do that. Use that as a tool to help you heal. Go for it. I'm cheering you on.
Yeah. Oh.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, like, I find it really validating, which is why I do it, right? But also, like, I thought of this question because when we were looking at all of the Sisyphus stuff, right? So we talked about that on TikTok. I don't think we necessarily talked about it on here, but we talked about it at length on TikTok. So Sisyphus being like the ways that you trick people and also the consequences for that. I have a newsletter. We have a newsletter where I type up all of the obscure asteroids that we talk about on TikTok and then I email them to you. So anyways, so because I had all of that, like through the signs and through the houses or that you had helped me with, you know, I looked it up for everybody in my family and I found it really validating because they were all really, really true. And it was both like, I was like, oh yeah, that is the way that they fuck with people. Like each of them, this is very much how they fuck with the people. But also I've watched these consequences come back to fuck with them like right back. And I found it really super validating. And so like, I was really happy to have like looked it up and seen all of the information. And I am somebody who like, I don't really have very many secrets. And if I've said it, if I've done it, I stand by it. So it's not like, you know, you can't like, well, I'm going to post screenshots and you're going to be really upset because I don't do things that I wouldn't, you know, stand behind or whatever. So like, I definitely look up abusive, toxic people's birth stuff and I'm fine with that and I'm happy with it and I find it validating. I mean, I wouldn't say that it brings me joy, but I find it validating. Right. And I'm not sorry. So that's why I thought of this question.
Same. Now, where I would draw the line is, so for this, but this is a hyper specific situation. Not everyone in the world has a podcast where they talk about astrology. So like, I would not put someone's chart on screen if I do not have their explicit consent, at least not in full. So what we have done before is to anonymize a person that has been in your life that has acted in toxic ways. And we have taken specific placements out of that chart so it can't be recreated. So you can't, like from the stuff that I put up on screen, you can't determine that person's birth date or birth time or whatever. And obviously we do not show the name. So we only show the specific placements that we talk about, where we go like, okay, so this could show up in this kind of way. And this is how that would present if it were like an unhealed, toxic kind of person. So, and that is mainly due to German laws, because German
we would do anyways, though.
Grudgingly. Well,
you're making that face, but you're also an ethics nerd, and that is
I am an ethics nerd. And here's why I'm saying it in that way. So I have recently been sort of re-traumatized by a person that I know. That was a very big thing. And it wasn't just affecting me, it also affected my family. It was a big, heavy thing. And because it has had such a big impact on me, I've also obviously looked at, because I have that person's chart, I have looked at that person's chart a lot and done like, and did composite charts and looked at transits and I'm an astrologer. I did all the things.
The transits agreed with that too.
With that person's chart. And because it is so fresh and so new, and that was around the time when we first started this podcast. So I had to really think, okay, if something comes up along those lines about trauma, about, you know, toxic people, would I use that person as an example to explain things? And there's a tiny part of me that finds a little bit of joy.
Sure.
In just thinking about maybe doing that.
Sure.
So the petty part of my brain that goes like, I could expose them to the world and tell everyone how shitty they are. So would I ever...
experiment is different than you actually doing it, though, because I know you and you would never actually fucking do that.
That's what I was going to say. Would I actually do that ever? No. No, I wouldn't. I know that is unethical. I would never do that. And also, on top of that, German privacy laws are so strict that I couldn't legally do that. I would, I mean, the risk is relatively low because that person would have to find out and then actually sue me. And that risk is almost zero.
Yeah.
But there's like that little tiny bit where they could sue me, and that would mean that I would probably have to pay a decent amount of money, and I don't want to do that. So,
right.
I do not want to give them my money.
Sure.
I like my money too much. So, so no, I would never actually do that. But again, there's the tiny little pretty part of my brain that's like, it's fun to think about it, though.
But you've sat in your room and like looked through it.
Yes. So I've done all the things with that person's chart, and it was validating, and it did help with healing. I'm still healing from that. I'm nowhere done. That happened like 6 months ago or something. So it's like, it's very fresh still. Yeah, but it does help, especially if you if you can then look at the timing with like via transits and stuff and realize, oh, that was always going to happen in some shape or form. And it's like, yeah. So if you want to do that, do that. The other caveat I would see in that is, should you go to an astrologer and ask an astrologer about another person's chart?
Only if that astrologer is your really good friend and you're not like paying them.
Yes, and they're not gonna, tell anyone. And so, sure, if that's your friend, that doesn't count because you're talking to your friend. But like, should you go online and find an astrologer and ask that astrologer, can I pay you money so you can look at this toxic person's chart and explain to me why they're toxic? Don't do that.
Or somebody that you are stalking. Because like, so I think a lot of times people, so I saw this when I was doing tarot for people a lot, where people would be like, so first of all, we'll just open with, nobody thinks that they're the problem.
No, of course not.
Right? So stalkers aren't like, I'm stalking this person. Like,
but it's fine because...
Right. They're like, but we're meant to be, right? So
yeah.
I used to have people all the time be like, will you pull cards about the nitty gritty details of this other person's life and their relationships, and I have like professional psychic friends that are like, oh yeah, people ask me that shit all the time. Right. So like, this is like a common thing. And I'm sure astrologers also deal with it. And like my answer and my psychic friends businesses answer is like, no, I'll pull cards for you.
Yes.
Like, and it's also funny. Like I used to always be like, no, but I will pull cards for your energy with that person because I'm like, the cards are going to tell you that you're a stalker and that you need to back off. Right. And so I'd be like, let me pull cards about this. And then inevitably, like that's what would happen. And then they'd be like, I don't agree with that. That doesn't resonate with me. Right. Because again, we never think that we're the problem. So
no.
Just something to think about when you're...
And you could be as any kind of reader, be it tarot, be it astrology, be it a psychic reading, runes, whatever. Whatever. Anything. You can be as direct to people as humanly possible.
Yeah.
They will only ever hear the parts that they want to hear and that they're ready to hear. If
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not ready to hear that they're a stalker and you say to their face, this card is saying you're a stalker, they will not hear it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
don't do that. And also, no astrologer that works even remotely ethically will do that. Like, we can't read charts other than the charts that's yours, the one that is paying me to read a chart.
Yeah.
Or you're gifting it to someone that is then present at the reading, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Or maybe your own child. If you do readings,
people
for
do
children.
synastry charts with their partners and stuff.
Yes, but consent is at least implied. I mean, I'm not saying that I can always tell. Of course, you could be an asshole and just book like a reading with anyone, with an astrologer or a psychic or a tarot reader or whatever, and give them your info, and be it actually the info of someone you're stalking. Could you do that? Yes, sure. Yeah. Can I tell? I mean, I am psychic, so there's a chance I'm going to be able to tell. Is that chance 100%? Of course not. You can always trick me, and I have no way to tell.
No way to prove it. Yeah, I mean, people definitely would try to would lie to get around it.
Sure.
When I was reading tarot, and I know that they do it to Alyssa sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah. He's always like, no.
Yeah.
I was very much like, dump the motherfucker.
Yes.
Like in the infamous words of Dan Savage, dump the motherfucker already.
Yeah.
Like, just which I think most stalkers need to do, like, just in your head. Like, obviously you can't dump them because they're not with you, but like in your head, you need to just like fucking let it go.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
That's a long way around from the original question, but
sure. But so the gist of it, if you do it privately for your own health and your own benefit and your own healing, go for it. Good job. Do that. We love healing.
Yeah.
Just don't do it publicly, and don't
be a dick.
And don't ask astrologers to do that. Neither in a direct way, nor try to trick any woo-woo service provider to doing any kind of work for you on other people that have not consented to that. That is very, very unethical.
Yeah. It's also a good way to get blacklisted.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah. You will be on a list somewhere.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'll save my last question for next time.
Sure. Yeah, we've just done a lot of babbling.
It's because we spent a lot of time talking about energy healing to start, so we did still kind of talk about 3 different things. We just started with something that I didn't have as listed as a question.
Yeah, fair. And also, there was a long break, so the longer the break, the more we talk.
True.
For reasons.
Accurate.
Okay. So hopefully you enjoyed that. And and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.